With me in studio is Joe Biggs, our reporter who joined us, really got in touch with us because of the Michael Hastings investigation. We were looking at this. Now we've got a story saying that the emails that were released as part of a FOIA request showed the FBI was working to debunk, quote, conspiracy theories. Now, of course, the term conspiracy theory is something that was created by the FBI to shut down investigations and questions about the official story about the JFK assassination. And we had some real questions about this Michael Hastings death from the get-go. As we were just talking about, I immediately knew when I looked at this and saw the pictures of the engine down the road at a right angle to where the car had crashed into the tree, I knew that didn't happen from it crashing in the tree. When you crash a car into a tree, the engine is not going to be ejected 150 feet or 200 feet or whatever down the road. It's going to be captured into the car. And you could also see that the fire was contained to the front of the car. It did not involve the rear of the car. And I did a lot of research about car accidents after that, specifically because of that, because it's something of a urban legend that Hollywood has. When you drive a car off a cliff and it immediately explodes. That doesn't happen unless it's a rear-end collision and the gas tank is ruptured. And that gas tank, the rear end of that car was still in effect.
Well, even then, though, I mean, I've actually shot a car, being in combat and shot gas tanks before and watched them explode. It blows up, and the fire isn't even that bad. It takes hours to get to the point where what happened in the Hastings crash. Now, you got to think, he's traveling down, his direction of path. So there's a few things that happen. He's traveling, then you see a flash of light, then you see the lights in the vehicle go out. Mm-hmm. So that's where there's that explosion.
Yes.
Then you see the flash. So at that point, that's where the engine's ejected.
Exactly. And that's what came out. Eventually, we saw that. But I'm saying on the very first night, when you see that engine down there, it's like, something is wrong.
Exactly.
Okay. And we knew that he had made a lot of enemies in Afghanistan when you were talking to him, and with McChrystal, who's the guy in the general in charge there. So we knew he had a lot of powerful enemies.
He was almost kicked off of Air Force One as well when he was doing the Panic 2012 book about the Obama campaign. So
he had a lot of enemies in high places, and this happens. And then we learned that WikiLeaks said that he was being investigated. And so it's just one thing after the other. As you start to look at it, it all starts to unravel. The physical evidence, then the video that surfaces, then the emails that surface. But talk about, we were just before we came back on, and just before we had the break, you were talking about the unusual aspects of this FOIA request and the investigation.
So when you submit a FOIA request, there's a few things that happen. For this one, the original FOIA requests were based off of the media chatter. Hey, because of the email that I had released and all that, was he being investigated by the FBI? And maybe that's the reason why he was leaving at such high speeds in the middle of the night or early morning, however you want to look at it. And when you submit a FOIA request like that, they're supposed to come back with a confirm or deny as to whether or not they're investigating that individual. Well, this didn't happen in this case for some reason. They flat out said, no, they were not looking into Michael Hastings. So that in itself is very unusual. That's something that doesn't happen. It's like I said, it's a confirm or deny. So like I said, they flat out said, no, we're not. But then a year later, they came out and said, well, actually, we were looking at Michael Hastings for what they called controversial reporting in his Rolling Stone article about the Bo Bergdahl, the last American prisoner of war. So, it just goes to show you that they were so quick to say, no, we have nothing to do with this. And now they're trying to scramble around, apparently, and debunk these conspiracy theories. Well, and always catch them in a flat-out lie.
We always look at this. We're not conspiracy theorists. We are skeptics who investigate the official story or any story that people have. And we ought to come to these things with a healthy dose of skepticism. That's really the only kind of objectivity that you can really have. If you're investigating a murder as a police detective, you don't want to come in and say, well, I was told by his wife that such and such happened, so I'm not going to investigate her because she's above investigation. Yeah. So, I mean, we look at this, we immediately see there's something wrong with it. Then we see things start to surface. The fact that WikiLeaks says that he had contacted them. We hear testimony that he was concerned that he was being followed. He is looking under his car for bombs, his landlady said. We see a lot of things like this start to surface. The fact that he sent out communications to the people that he worked with and said, I'm going to be gone for quite some time. I mean, it was really, really.
I mean, I had a deep gut feeling that something was up. And they come out and they're like, DMT, this is what it is. Drug results show that there's DMT in the system.
Yeah.
Okay, look, that has nothing to do with an engine shooting out of a vehicle.
Absolutely. It was phony. Thank you so much, Joe.
You are watching the best of the Alex Jones Show, weekdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. Watch live at Infowars.com/show or become a member of InfoWarsNews.com and help us take resistance to the next level.